This is the Angels POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Angels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Oh, how great it feels. Houston, you have a problem. Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls, and welcome back to the latest edition of the Locked On Angels POSTCAST, coming at you live, as always, after every single Angels game, right here live on the Locked On Angels YouTube channel, and after the fact, both on the channel or wherever the heck you get the Locked On Angels audio podcast feed. If you don't know who I am, what's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson. I'm a former credentialed journalist in the Los Angeles area. Spent 4 years covering UCLA sports with the Daily Bruin, now in year 2 with the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Our team is the Angels, and our team is the anti-Houston Astros. And today we got to celebrate both, because with Houston coming to town, we didn't get any help from the other teams that are trying to keep Houston out of the playoff race, specifically the Tigers. But we handled our own business in terms of keeping the Astros out of the playoffs. A 4-3 victory tonight. Mike Trout, of course, the story with not one, but 2 home runs. Kyle Hendricks, potentially his last start of his, I don't want to say storied, but certainly impressive career. And he got the job done for most of his start. The bullpen got the job done the entire way. And we had a couple young guys make some great plays, some boneheaded plays, some smart plays off of the boneheaded plays. We got a little bit of everything. But most importantly, we got a win, and we handed them a loss. Now, before we jump into it, shout out to everybody in here as always. Big Mark T, Mateo, Albert, Mahoko, Gene, David, and William, who says, hello, I listen every night while I'm driving my truck, but fortunately I'm able to watch tonight. Well, William, that is just amazing. It's messages that just make me so grateful for all of you. Shout out to you, William. Shout out to everybody in here who, you're already the best because you're in here. You're already feeling good. But man, after a game like that, you know everybody's feeling good, especially because of one man. And you know that's where I'm starting today's show. Oh no, it's giving me the glitch, guys. It's giving me the glitch. We're starting with the player of the game, okay? We're starting with Mike freaking Trout. 2 home runs in this ball game. And I don't know. You guys tell me. But I'm not really the type to want to push this narrative thing about mental playing a role and all of that all the time. I don't like doing that. But clearly, there's no way you can deny it that number 400 home run milestone, there was pressure that was getting on Mike Trout. With every at-bat where he went up with 399, and with every at-bat where he didn't get to 400, the pressure grew and grew and grew. And it's not like there was any question if Mike Trout was ever going to get there. We know he was, despite how much he gets hurt. But you can't tell me in the back of his mind he's thinking, with every at-bat I don't get to 400, the odds of me getting to 450 or 500 decrease, right? And it just adds more and more pressure. It should be a pressureless end to the season with the Angels not playing for anything. There's nobody who has less pressure on them to perform, to earn a contract, or to stay on a roster than Mike Trout. He's making plenty of money for the rest of eternity. He's going to be on the Angels till the end of eternity, till he doesn't want to, right? So there's no pressure outside of the career milestones for him when the team is eliminated from the playoffs. And we're seeing that now. The second he gets to 400, well, suddenly the guy can't stop hitting 400. He can't stop hitting home runs, and it's not glitch now, so I can say it. Mike Trout is your.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
He's your player of the freaking game. I'm glad we were able to do it. But 2 home runs for Trout tonight. And again, this is the second time where it's meaningful, right? In the loss, of course, it was 5-2 against the Royals. Yesterday, he makes it 5-4 with the 2-run shot, and it was as meaningful as it could be in a loss, right? This is even more meaningful when you hit the first home run when the game is still relatively close, It's the first run of the board on the board for the Angels. They didn't really do much going into that home run in the bottom of the fourth inning, his 24th of the year that cut the 3-0 lead to 3-1. A bomb, 107 off the bat, 413 feet, but it doesn't get any more meaningful than game tied 3-3, leading off the bottom of the eighth inning against the Houston Astros, who are fighting for their playoff lives with 3 games to go. And you take a 2-0 pitch and you crush a fastball. And again, Mike Trout, if there's one thing that Mike Trout is going to do in big 2025, it's be patient, right? Even when he couldn't get a hit to save his life, that he's going to be patient in this stage of his career, certainly this season. But the Mike Trout that we can envision is the Mike Trout that turns that patience into destroying 2-0 fastballs down the middle like he did here, right? At this stage, we know Mike Trout doesn't have, seasons where he's hitting 300 and ripping a bunch of doubles and stealing bases or even playing in the outfield or anything like that. We know all of that is not likely. But if Mike Trout can be a guy who either gets a first pitch sweeper right down the middle and crushes it like he does here, or a guy, or as he does in the fourth inning, or a guy that in the eighth gets ahead 2-0, uses that patience, and then crushes the 2-0 fastball right down the middle. Randy, you're exactly right. He says Mike is finally hitting mistake pitches. Hey, if Mike Trout does nothing left in his career other than hit mistake pitches, he will get to 500 home runs. He will contribute to wins for the Angels. The days of 280 and a bunch of RBIs on doubles and stuff, they're probably gone. But if he just wants to be a guy who sits there, watches a bunch of balls, waits for the mistake, and crushes 30 home runs a season, that is still good enough to be a darn good baseball player, especially with how the game is played today. And so he does it twice and in 2 different ways, a hanging sweeper on the first pitch of the inning and then a 2-0 fastball right down the middle. He takes a lot of called third strikes. He did it all season, but you're willing to trade that. That's why it was so frustrating earlier in the year. He was taking strike 3 looking. He was falling behind in counts but he wasn't even taking advantage of the mistake, right? Now, we'll have to live with the called third strikes. We'll have to live with extremely patient Mike Trout if it means when there is a mistake, he's going to destroy it like he did twice here. So just like that, despite all the criticism, despite it being one of his worst seasons in terms of average and hits, he's got a 787 OPS, the second highest of the team behind just Taylor Ward, who, oh, by the way, has hit 36 home runs. So love it. Proud of Mike Trout. Just happy for him, right? 403 home runs now on the career. And again, if there was any doubt about him getting to 500, he's trying to put that doubt away. It would take 97 home runs. So 3 33 homer seasons would do it. Right. So I think he's got 3 of those. It doesn't have to be 33 homer seasons, but I think he's going to play 4 seasons, hopefully, and get there for sure. Last 7 games, quietly, really, really good. 280 average, 333 on base percentage. The slug is 800, 4 homers in his last 7 games. Of course, that means 5 RBIs. Of course, that's still not very good, which is crazy. Welcome to the Angels. 10 strikeouts in 25 at-bats. Way too high, right? Almost striking out. I mean, not almost, 40% of the time there, but still, you'll take it if it means home runs for Mike Trout. Now, obviously, he's the player of the game. Obviously, he gave us the most excitement. We'll talk about Kyle Hendricks in the bullpen a little bit after the break because Larry is right. Great job, Hendricks. But I thought we saw some fun things from the young guys as well, right? You have the veteran of all veterans, the GOAT of all GOATs, and Mike Trout go deep twice. But you also have Denzer Guzman with a pair of hits. You have Christian Moore, who has a hit, but then also gets thrown out at third, trying to go first to third on the Guzman single. Fortunately, Denzer Guzman, despite being a young guy, shows the awareness to get to second base and set up that Chris Taylor RBI that at the moment tied the game. So in the bottom of the 5th, for Moore and Guzman to go double back-to-back in the bottom of the 5th, chef's kiss, right? The fact that there's Ohapi, Moore, Guzman 3 in a row, and Ohapi is the one who flies out, and Moore and Guzman are the one hitting doubles. I guess it just says that, it's the state of things with the young core of the Angels. But Christian Moore double, love to see it, and then Guzman double to score more. That made it 3-2 after the solo shot the inning before for Mike Trout. And then in the bottom of the 7th inning, Christian Moore gets on via the walk, base hit from Guzman. He's thrown out by Zach Cole. Unfortunate, but guess what? The brain power of Denzar Guzman to get to second, so huge for a young guy to be smart enough to do that. And then Chris Taylor, the furthest thing from a young guy, but he's able to poke one into right field to score Guzman. That made it 3-3 to, of course, set up the Mike Trout go-ahead solo shot. One thing I loved was the post-game interview on the radio with Chris Taylor where they said, they asked him a question about his base hit, and he says, yeah, it was good, nice base hit, but, it felt really good to do it against the Astros. They're in a playoff race. We're trying to play spoiler. And then they go, well, our next question was going to be, it's got to feel good, right, to do this against the Astros when they're trying to make the playoffs, right? He goes, absolutely. And then he walks away, right? Just simple, obvious. We hate you, Houston. We know he hates them because of his Dodgers ties, but we all hate the Houston Astros. So great to beat them. They are still outside looking in terms of the playoffs. And Mike Trout, a pair of young guys, and Chris Taylor are huge reasons why. After this break, we'll talk about the other huge reason why. Kyle Hendricks with a decent start, but the bullpen was fantastic, including another old guy, Kenley freaking Jansen. We'll talk about all of them after our break here on a victory and spoiler edition of the Locked On Angels postcast. I will be right back. Now, on this Friday, this Victory Friday, gosh, we just don't get to say that very often, but this Victory Friday is brought to you by Rugiet. Now, Rugiet. I know. The jokes, they're going to be here. I know. But Rugiet, you've probably heard of Viagra. You've heard of Cialis. Maybe you've even tried them. But if you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, it's time to meet Rugiet Go Long. That's exactly where Rugiet Go Long comes in, because it isn't just another ED pill. It's a total game changer for confidence. It combines 2 doctor-trusted medications in one dual-action formula, so you can get hard and go the distance like Mike Trout. Sorry, I had to do it. The effects can last up to 36 hours. That's confidence all day, all night, and even into the next day. And the process is simple. Connect with a board-certified doctor 100% online, and if prescribed, your treatment ships discreetly right to your door. So if you're ready to level up your confidence in the bedroom, head to rugiet.com and use promo code LOCKEDONMLB for 15% off your first order. That's Rugiet, rugiet.com, promo code LOCKEDONMLB. Make sure to use our codes so they know we sent you. Today's show also brought to you by FanDuel. Look, the NFL season, it's well underway. Kickoff is here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. That's right, just $5, and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right, pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love how FanDuel gives me so many ways to play when I'm out of California. I've built parlays, I've tried player props, and I even follow the live lines during the game. In fact, that's my best part, or the best part in my opinion. It makes watching football, baseball, basketball, everything much more exciting when you've got a little something extra riding on the action. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to get started. FanDuel, download the app and get started with America's #1 sportsbook. Back here live on a victory edition of the Locked On Angels postcast. Oh yeah. Victory edition as the Angels beat the Houston Astros 4-3. They keep the Houston Astros on the outside looking in the AL wild card race on a day where the Red Sox clinch, on a day where the Tigers lose, and that's good news for the Houston Astros. The Angels put up, a nice little dagger into the Houston Astros playoff hopes. I'm pulling up the standings real quick just to make sure I have it right. Yes, the Astros are still a game back of the Tigers, who are 86-74. They're 85-75, which means a Tigers win and Angels win tomorrow would clinch it for the Tigers and end it for the Houston Astros. How glorious would that be? On Saturday, which I believe is Fan Appreciation Day, I know it's the last fireworks day, it would just be absolutely glorious if you're setting off fireworks knowing that you ended the Houston Astros season. That would be amazing. amazing. You know what else was amazing was watching Kyle Hendricks tonight. It wasn't anything unreal, but it was just a very prototypical Kyle Hendricks start, and that's very fitting. That's what you want to see in what is likely his last start of his very long and pretty darn respectable MLB career. A nice, simple 5 innings, 5 hits, no walks. He struck out 8, which is higher than he normally does, but just 2 earned runs, 3 runs total. Very, very impressive for Kyle Hendricks. If it is the end, what a career. I believe he announced it, right? But for some reason, there's still people saying, is this it? Is this it? He said it was it. So certainly expect this to be it for Kyle Hendricks. Great start, great career for him. In case you forgot what this guy has accomplished, he's 35 years old, 307 games in the big leagues, 301 starts. The career ERA is 3.79, which is pretty solid. Obviously, the ERA this season was not great. 4.76 in 31 starts. 8-10 was the record. He ate up innings. That's what he needed to do for the Angels. Obviously, not going to judge his career based on that. But this was a guy who, you look at the first couple of seasons of his career, 2.46 ERA in 13 starts in his rookie season in 2014. 3.95 ERA, 2.13 ERA in 2016, 3.03 in 2017, mid 3.5s in 2018 and 19, 2.88 in 2020, and then things kind of changed there, right? 4.77, 4.8, 3.74, 5.92, and then here a 4.76. But still, this is a guy who was darn good, right? Darn good a couple times, especially in 2016, was downright dominant, right? I mean, come on, guys. Like, I believe that's the right year I just said. Yeah. 30 starts in 2016, a 2.13 ERA. I didn't even know that it was that good. So shout out to him. What a career. Just darn good. And he will be missed in the bigs. It's not like he's some crazy legend or anything like that, but still, he's a guy who, got the job done throughout his career, and he helped out the Angels at times. Obviously, a guy who's from Newport Beach. He's from OC, and so it's very fitting that he ends his career here with a nice start. Now, it was not a win, unfortunately, but it wasn't a loss, and it didn't contribute to a loss because the bullpen was phenomenal tonight. Chase Solseth bounces back from the rough outing with a perfect 1-2-3-6, including 2 strikeouts. The ERA is quietly 1.64 for him. Fermin with a 1 walk but scoreless 7th. Brock Burke gets the win, 1 hit and a scoreless 8th. And then Kenley Jansen, who now has a 97% save percentage this season. Save number 29, the ERA 2.58, but save number 29. Wow. I mean, just wow, right? The whip is below 1. Now, and it's a great way for him to get what might be his last save. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully he gets one more in this series against Houston, but it was a great save. The strikeouts, the crowd on their feet. It was a lot of fun as well, which you absolutely love to see. So just a fun win, right? To do it against this team, it's always great, but just a fun win overall. To be at home, you wanted the series win against Kansas City, but we would much prefer the series win to come against Houston anyway. The energy was great. Over 36,000, as of course there are. The last couple chances to watch Angels baseball this season. But against the Astros, crowd on their feet throughout the ballgame. Mike Trout bringing the crowd to its feet with not 1 but 2 home runs. Christian Moore gave us excitement. Denzer Guzman gave us excitement. Kyle Hendricks gave us a moment to stand and clap. And Kenley Jansen gave us excitement and that finishing touch. A lot of people in here saying he's a winner, great save. He must be re-signed is what Larry is saying. Eric says Jensen is as sure as they come. I mean, yeah. I mean, you don't climb up this all-time saves ranks if you're not as sure as they come. Elon with a big call. He says, next year, we are making the playoffs if we can get better pitching. I mean, hey, it's kind of a crazy statement. I won't lie, but if better pitching means 3 starters and a bullpen arm or 2, then yeah, I think that's probably enough to get this Angels team to the playoffs. I just don't see that happening, but I'd certainly take an arm or 2 in the rotation, maybe 1 or 2 in the bullpen, and maybe a contact hitter here or there in the lineup. And the Angels can certainly compete a little bit. David says the Anaheim, LA, and frowny face. The Anaheim Angels 2020 MVP is Gavin Carlson. Oh, geez. Thank you, David. Certainly not the case. If I had to give an MVP this season, it's probably Joe Adell, maybe Taylor Ward. It's a coin flip. I think based on the expectations coming in, the pressure and what they were able to accomplish, I think you give it to Joe Adell, but certainly Taylor Ward has an argument. Zach Neto always has an argument if he doesn't get hurt. Eric got to watch a fun win going to the game. Happy for you. Anna CJB says, with the Skaggs lawsuit, I don't see Artie opening up the checkbook. And Mark says, what? You're doubting Artie? Come on now. Love the sarcasm. You guys are right. Unfortunately, Artie will hold this team back. We know that. Larry says, Gavin, you the bomb, buddy. No, you're the bomb. Larry, you're all the bomb. Shout out to all of you. So have a great rest of your Friday night. It's hard not to after a win like this. Enjoy it. We'll see you back here tomorrow night. I have to check, actually, now that I think about it, because this is the life I live. I believe the Angels game is the same exact time tomorrow. It is 6:38. And what time is the UCLA game? I believe it's a day game, right? I think we're okay here. UCLA Northwestern is at 12:30. Perfect. So I'll be able to do my UCLA postcast in the afternoon, and I'll do my Angels show right here at night. So let's get 2 wins tomorrow. My Bruins need a win. God, we need it bad. Some interim luck against a horrible Northwestern team. That might be the only team the UCLA has a chance of beating. So yes, Elon, you're exactly right. Hopefully UCLA wins. And then, oh man, it would be so much better if after that, the Angels end the Astros season with a win tomorrow at the Big A. Have a great rest of your Friday night. I'll see you back here tomorrow at least once, maybe twice. Go Angels.